I'm in a beautiful relationship with a beautiful boy named Chris Hughes.
Yo, we gotta talk about Jojo Siwa. She just pulled the plug on her whole tour and it's turning into straight up drama. Folks are pointing fingers at her new boo, Chris Hughes, saying that's the reason she scrapped everything. But hold up, there's even more mess swirling around JoJo. So we're about to break down exactly what she's been spilling about this chaos. First off, let's get into all the chatter about JoJo lately and what she's been putting out there herself. This year has been wild for her, no doubt. She went through a huge public breakup with her ex, Kath Ebbs, and it was messy. JoJo caught a storm of backlash after hopping on Celebrity Big Brother UK and getting real tight with her castmate, Chris Hughes. When she got out the house, she ended things with Kath, then came clean later that her and Chris were official after keeping it hush-hush for weeks. In the Big Brother house, JoJo had some eye-opening moments about what she wanted in life and who she wanted to be, and people have been picking apart every move since. One big thing JoJo figured out was that she identifies as queer, not lesbian, and she's been opening up about that in interviews. Just last week, she told Complex that she actually felt pushed to say she was lesbian at one point, even though that didn't fully fit. In her chat with You magazine, she spilled, "When I came out at 17, I said I'm pansexual because I don't care about gender. But then I kind of boxed myself in and said I'm lesbian. And I think I did that because of pressure." The Karma singer went on saying, "In a weird way, I think it came a little bit from inside the LGBTQ+ community at times, from people I know, from partners I've had. You just get put in this world where you feel like because you now have said, 'Oh, I am lesbian,' you have to be a lesbian." She kept it real, explaining that sexuality is straight up fluid. Now, while JoJo's been going public with Chris Hughes, fresh headlines are blowing up that she's been dropped by her record label, Columbia Records, after not even a year signed with them. Fans are buzzing about what really went down behind the scenes. So it doesn't really look like JoJo got dropped just now. Folks just clocked it recently because her track Bulletproof came out on her own, no label behind it. But people are trying to spin the story, claiming her going public with a man is what made Columbia dump her, which sounds straight up wild. Let's be real. It's way more likely the label bailed because her EP didn't hit last year, not because she's dating a dude. That whole idea makes zero sense. As for what's next with her music, Daily Mail reported she's trying to score a deal with a UK label. They wrote a music source claimed, "JoJo has been dropped by Columbia Records. She self-released her latest song, Bulletproof, whereas Karma was done with the label. She has been in London on the lookout for a new record company to sign with and playing gigs, hoping to impress the right people." That's got folks talking, wondering if she's really over in the UK because of Chris Hughes, and if that's the main reason she wants to lock in a label deal out there. Some people think maybe certain industry folks just don't want to work with her anymore, but she's still out there hustling for a new shot? Like, would she really uproot her whole life and career for a man? But let's get into the real tea about her tour. JoJo was all set to hit the stage at Chicago's Backlot Bash for Pride this year, but she straight up canceled just days before, blaming a scheduling conflict. Fans were left totally confused, and some were even mad about it. Backlot Bash put out a statement saying, "Due to a scheduling conflict, Jojo Siwa will no longer be performing at Chicago's Backlot Bash." This all went down right after she did that interview about feeling pressured to call herself a lesbian, and people started questioning if she pulled out because folks were doubting her place in the LGBTQ+ community. Now that she's dating Chris Hughes, some folks are speculating that she's avoiding Pride altogether. But others were quick to remind everyone, bi people exist, queer people exist, pan people exist, and dating a man right now doesn't erase her queerness. Still, folks can't help but wonder if all the people throwing shade made her back off from performing at Pride this time around. This wasn't the only gig JoJo pulled the plug on, though, which kind of makes it look like there's some serious stuff going down behind the curtain. She didn't just bail on the Pride show. She postponed her whole US tour that was supposed to kick off in July. JoJo posted a statement on her website saying, "I've got some news that breaks my heart to share. My US tour has to be postponed. I promise I'll be back before you know it to perform for all the beautiful people in the US. Announcements will be coming soon, including some Europe shows. Thank you so much for your understanding and support. I can't wait to see you all soon. To my dream guest VIP, my team will be reaching out to you individually to plan something special. Refunds will be issued at point of purchase. Of course, that got people talking. Some are accusing JoJo of shutting down the tour just to chill with Chris Hughes more, but others pointed out she's got way more fans across the pond in the UK, so maybe the US tour was underselling and her crew decided they'd pull in bigger crowds over there. Either way, fans are stressed trying to figure out what's really going on with JoJo's plans. I don't even know what to say. But talking about JoJo's love life and everything else, remember not too long ago she was out here telling everybody she was ready to be a mom? In a bunch of interviews all through 2024, she said she was planning to have kids in the next 3 years and already had a sperm donor lined up. JoJo even revealed she wanted to fertilize 3 eggs and use 3 different surrogates, so her kids, who'd all come from the same batch, would be like triplets, technically. She went so far as to get tattoos of the baby names she'd picked out, ready for a girl, and twin boy names Eddie and Teddy. She even joked that if a future partner didn't vibe with those names, that'd be a total deal breaker.
Dream kid's name still Freddie, Eddie, and Teddy?
Absolutely not. I was a bad girl, did some bad things, and that was naming children. No, let's see. Got a new name for children, and I think it's Jojo Siwa.
But get this. In a recent interview, she said she's actually changed her mind about those names. When someone asked, "Are your dream kids' names still Freddie, Eddie, and Teddy?" she admitted she might be switching things up. After all, in that same interview, JoJo went deep about folks always pushing her to slap a label on her sexuality, even though she's still figuring herself out. Someone asked, "How'd you feel about people pressuring you to label your sexuality when you're still discovering who you are?" And she got real about how unfair that feels.
How do you feel about people pressuring you to label your sexuality when you're still discovering who you are?
Honestly, I don't mind it. And the reason why I don't mind it is because I think there's a lot of other people who are trying to figure out their own sexuality. And I think in their lives, they probably have people that are pressuring them as well. And so in a way, I get to be an example for those people that even when society or your, closest people are putting a pressure on you, you don't need to know. Any member of the community is a member of the community and no member is greater than another. And I think a lot of times some people think that they are greater than one another just because, they're a little bit older or they have things a little more figured out. But truth be told, that's couldn't be further from the case at all. And I think a lot of times, as a world, we feel this sort of pressure to have it figured out, but that's so unrealistic. And also, anybody who's putting a pressure on me to figure it out needs to take a second and look in the mirror and realize that sexuality is fluid. And you might realize one thing about yourself today, and you might realize one thing about yourself tomorrow. And then another thing is that the whole thing that we preach as a beautiful community is that love is love. And that's a two-way street. Love is love any which way you look at it. I see other people, especially online, coming at me saying all these certain things and that yada 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 this, yada 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 that. And it's like, whoa, babe. Love is literal love.
When she opened up about her current relationship in another interview, she had big praise for Chris Hughes, saying they weren't even looking for love when they found each other. But some people side-eye that weren't you in a relationship before, JoJo?
I am in a beautiful relationship with a beautiful boy named Chris Hughes. He came into my life at a great time, beautiful time. It really feels like that. I wasn't looking for love, he wasn't looking for love, and then all of a sudden we couldn't look away from each other, and it was a growth over time. My favorite thing about Christopher Hughes, a lot of people think it's Chris Hughes' eyes, which it is. He does have gorgeous eyes, but it's not my favorite thing about him. My favorite thing about him is how he treats everybody he meets. He obviously treats me like I'm the only girl in the world. He treats me better than anybody ever has. He's my best friend, and now he's my boyfriend. He's a good one. He's a keeper.
So yeah, she didn't exactly come out looking squeaky clean with how messy things kicked off with Chris, but hey, that's JoJo for you. Never a dull moment. Anyway, that's the rundown on Jojo Siwa, the Chris update, the baby name drama, her career twists, and tour chaos. Now I want to hear from you. Drop your thoughts down in the comments. And if you don't want to miss the next hot drop, hit that subscribe button to NoFilter, because we're serving up 2 juicy, up-to-date celeb drama videos every single day on NoFilter. Like, share, and get in on the convo. See you in the next one.